My name is Chris Dobell. I'm a second generation sign painter or sign writer, originally from Australia, currently working in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I've been sign painting since I was 16 years old, so that's a really long time. In 1968, my dad started Dobell Sign Company with my mum Diane, so my dad, Bill Dobell. Yeah, he had many apprentices over the years and ended up partnering up with another guy, Roger Cooper, the Cooper and Dobell signs. From there, my brothers came along, we joined up with Dobell Signs and went through our apprenticeships. Yeah, Dobell Signs since 1968, so still going. After grade 10 in high school, I decided to become part of the family business. So I went to trade school and learnt how to paint signs, the construction of letters and how to draw those letters and how to design signs and how to airbrush and how to do gold leaf and all the aspects of the sign writing trade. So pretty fortunate to be able to do that. Went through my time with a lot of great tradespeople when sign painting was still quite a big industry in Australia. So we also did screen printing, so I did 2 apprenticeships at the time, sign writing and screen printing. So I was very fortunate to be able to go through that at the time I did in the 90s. 2 brothers that went through the same training, so did all my training there, and then was fortunate enough to have that skill to be able to take me wherever I wanted to go around the world. Eventually ended up here in Canada 18 years ago. So in 2004, my brother Stu had already travelled to Canada and we came over here on vacation, snowboarding and all that sort of fun stuff that you do here. And then I met a lady at the time who has now become my wife, Cassandra, and we struck up a really good friendship, and then she came out to Australia, and then eventually my parents had retired out of the industry, and so my brother and I thought we'd pack up our gear and come to Canada and see what was available here to do. We met some pretty awesome guys, Colby Spence and Aidan Ellis, who ran a local screen printing shop, and from there we started knocking on doors, going around offering free signs, trying to touch up old signs that were in the area. We were researching all the local breweries. We went to a local tasting and met Matt Phillips, the owner of Phillips Brewery, and we harassed him. Long story short, we got an interview and managed to show him a bunch of our work. We ended up getting some sign work through the brewery, and 16 years later I'm still here working for Phillips Brewery. That's the short version. There is longer versions. So I was looking for a space to work and approached Matt Phillips and said that I needed a space to work from and couldn't really afford anything else around town. So he offered me 10 feet of space in this shipping container that we're in right now. So yeah, I moved in here. I had another guy working behind me, Russell Papp, and we all became friends. And it was Sean O'Keefe, who was our graphic designer here, that was the one that pretty much convinced Phillips that he should have some sign painters on staff here to try and create different things for their accounts. So I could paint signs for all the different bars, and from high end to rustic to vintage, whatever the aesthetic of the pub. So I was very fortunate to be able to move in here and get this little space, and then over time it's grown into 40 feet of space. And yeah, I'm just doing all the promotional products for Phillips. Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to attend a trade school up in Sydney when I was younger. So throughout that course, we were taught the rules and regulations of sign painting at the time. So the construction of alphabets and different styles. In 1983, the computers came out that cut vinyl, and then that's gone on to digital printing. We've lost a lot of those old traditional things. So the modern day sign painter now would be somebody that's using modern technology like an iPad Pro, designing in Procreate, and then sending it to a printer. Unfortunately, we don't have any trade schools left here in Canada. There is one left in Los Angeles. The average Joe could buy a computer and cut out these vinyl lettering and stick it down. So lots of sign guys either went with that to try and keep up, or they just gave up. And we lost a lot of people out of the industry. We almost lost the industry, but in recent times there was a documentary that was released about 10 or 11 years ago that has produced a huge resurgence in the craft. We've seen lots of young people wanting to learn again. You can definitely tell a hand-painted sign versus a digital printed sign. It's not perfect, and I think that's where the beauty of the hand-painted sign is. It's not perfect, so the imperfections are there. You can tell it's been done by hand. It's going to break down over time. It's not like the digital printing that's getting done right now, where there's a short lifespan on that before the elements break it down. It's plastic. It starts delaminating, cracking, peeling off. As where paint, it just fades in time, and there's remnants of that all around the city in what they call ghost signs. I think the hand painter is just a lot more fun and bouncy and has life and character to it versus that sort of rigid plastic stale look. growing up in Australia, obviously a lot of influence from the tradespeople that worked at my dad's shop and local sign guys. So I still have a little bit of that style, which we refer to as the Aussie style, just because we'd learnt a lot of those techniques. I did illustrate a small book based on some of the techniques that we learnt in Australia. And then when moving to Canada, I became closer to all the guys that I used to read about in the magazines when I was growing up. So fortunate enough for me, I was able to attend some of those meets where I got to meet those guys. And now those guys are actually great friends that I speak to on a regular daily basis. I've adopted some of that style, which is the North American style. So I think, yeah, a lot of people know us obviously through doing the Phillips signs, but we have a lot of other clientele outside of that, and Victoria is pretty good for that. So we've done a lot of work for the tattoo community. When you're kind of walking around Victoria, you'll see some of the tattoo signs. Government Street Tattoo is one of our nicer ones that we always refer people to go and take a look at. Their shop front is stunning. And then also moving to Victoria, I've met a lot of the local graffiti guys. So I've sort of taken on a little bit of the local graffiti styles as well. So a lot of talented guys there. So I'm sort of mashing the graffiti with the traditional Australian styles and the North American styles and kind of blending it all together with a kind of West Coast infusion, I guess. So it's almost like a chef just taking different parts from around the world and creating your own style. And I think with sign painting, you've got to have something different that stands out because so many people are getting back into it again. I think Phillips Brewery has also helped put my brother and I on the map as far as sign writing is concerned, or sign painting in Canada. Without that, I don't know if we would be able to continue going. We were very fortunate that they believed in us to be able to create custom pieces for their accounts, and that's something that's sent our sign work all the way across the country. Being in a small confined area, especially in the winter time, I need to be able to get things to dry faster so that I can have them out for my accounts. So I've been looking at a lot of water-based technology. I use a lot of spray cans, things like that, so I can get things dried faster. So the water-based products are getting really, really good. So I use a lot of that for backgrounds, and then I'll use the enamels over the top. But the old school ones are pretty much Ronin in one shot, and that's what most people are using around the world. Yeah, the history goes way back. I don't think it's ever going to stop. So, especially here in Victoria, we've got signs here in town that are well over 100 years old and still looking great on the walls. Different countries have got different styles, and going around the world, everybody's got their own different styles of how they were taught and how their country goes about constructing letters. If you've got a really nice looking sign, people are more likely to come in than just nothing at all or some stickers on the window. So my job is to try and create something that's eye-pleasing and appealing that will draw the client in, and that's all it has been for years and years and years since signwriting first started. That's the whole idea, is to get people into that store or show them where to go in a pleasing, easy way. And that's create some emotion or some bounce or some life to it that's not just stale and boring. So I try and keep that in mind every time I'm designing something up. Yeah, I think it's just trying to get that that feeling, or that when they walk past, they're like, oh wow, that's a really cool sign. I'm going to go and check that place out, as opposed to like just walking straight past it as most people would, because sometimes it doesn't advertise what they do inside. And I think a lot of the designers now, they don't think about that. I've got a whole bunch of reference stuff at the back here, and then I always go through books all the time and look online and try and get things that I can study and draw up, so that the clients, I can give them an option of something that is going to represent them and draw people into their business, and that's what it's all about.